Hello and welcome to Domytriesthis. Today's coffee mug is an Atlanta mug or Georgia mug with the aquarium, Buckhead, CNN, the underground, 5 Points, the state capitol, all kinds of our landmarks in here. Today's tea is not a tea. It's kind of brisk out here in Atlanta today, in Georgia today. So today I am drinking the Private Selection white chocolate, hot chocolate. A little on the sweet side, but white chocolate's like that. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about palettes I should be using more. And one of these I probably should declutter. But for most of these, they've been favorite palettes in the past, or they're very good palettes, and for some reason they've just kind of fallen out of favor. And I probably should use them more. The first palette is going to be a blush palette, and the remainder will be eyeshadow palettes. So let's get started. So the first palette is the NYX Sweet palette. Now I got this for free as a bonus for an order. I don't remember how long ago. It had to be last year. The only color in here that I'm not particularly comfortable with is this really bright pink right here. But the other colors I have found that I can use almost any time. The palette is highly pigmented. The colors are soft. I have used them before. And for some reason, I just stopped using it when I got my tartes. And I don't know how much you're going to see on that. I'm trying. I always say that. I'm trying. But a couple of colors don't really show up. But they do show up on my cheeks when I build them up, and they're very pretty colors. I just, I like the Tarte formula better, and but this one has more colors, so I really should use this more. The next palette is the NYX California palette. Now, I know why this one fell out of favor. The colors are gorgeous in the pan. It comes with this neat topper that protects your mirror and gives you the names of the colors. They're very, very pretty, but the pigmentation just wasn't what I would hope for it to be, which makes me sad. I really like NYX products, but this one just didn't do it for me. And this is the one, you can see how patchy those are. And I know that with swatches, they don't necessarily perform on the back of your hand the way they do on your eyes. These do. The colors are kind of patchy. They're gorgeous, and I think that's why I haven't decluttered it. This is the one that I really should declutter. But the colors are gorgeous. At least one of them I don't have anywhere else, not like this. I think I have it in a really more shimmery tone, but not like it is in here. They're not quite pastel, but they're not quite bright, and they're beautiful colors. It just doesn't have the pigmentation that I would like to have on my eyes. So I don't know. What do you think? Should I declutter it, or should I keep it and try to use it more? You let me know what you think. The next one is a palette that was one of my first high-end palettes, and it's gorgeous. And I didn't initially use it a lot because it was a high-end palette and I spent a lot of money on it. But now it's getting older. It's about 2 years old or so, I think. And I really, really probably should start using it. And that is the Urban Decay Urban Spectrum palette. This palette is gorgeous. These colors are beautiful. The thing is, I think, they tend towards the dark end of the spectrum. There's a couple of them that don't. So I need brighter colors, and they actually do perform better on my eyes than they are on the back of my hand at the moment. The back of my hand doesn't have any primer on it. I'm wiping it off between palettes. so that I can put more colors up there. But these are on the darker end of the spectrum, and I need lighter colors. If you look, I have used like this really light pink over here. I've been using it up. You can tell it's been used a lot. This lighter purple I've been using quite a bit. I have used this darker blue. If you look, I don't know if you can look right there on that corner, you can see where it looks slightly indented. That's where I've used it as an eyeliner. But I've stopped using it for a while. And I really, really should use this, because this is getting on that line of where I really need to watch it for it to go bad, and I may end up having to throw it out. And that really would be a waste of money. So I need to use this. Love it too much to get rid of it. Really need to find a use for it. The next one is a newer palette, and I picked it up last year just before I started thinking about how many colors in that palette would I use. I might have bought this anyway, but the problem with this palette, I already know, is that it doesn't have enough colors. The one thing I do like is the little kit. And this is the Sephora Collection Seeing Stars palette. It's a decent palette. It doesn't have Urban Decay pigmentation, but the colors are pretty. They run into from the golds to the pinks with some browns and stuff in there. Browns. And you can see that I've used a couple of colors. But I'm not sure I would use much of the other colors, particularly the browns in here. It is a beautiful palette, and I have to figure out if pigmentation isn't fantastic, like I said, but it's a pretty palette, and it's good for a support palette for others that have brighter colors and things. But there's only a couple colors in there I'd probably end up using, so I have to decide if I'm going to use up those colors and then go ahead and give it up to someone else who would use the other colors, or if I should just keep it and just use it. Should it be one that I should use? Something to think about. The last three palettes are all from BH, which I started buying at the beginning of 2016, I think. Might have been 2017. But it was right after my daughter had started giving me, given me the original gifts that got me back into makeup. And I was playing around with what kind of things I liked. And BH is inexpensive. It's very affordable. You can get decent palettes on there for a reasonable cost. The thing with BH, for me, is that a lot of their stuff doesn't work. So they're very hit or miss, and I found them more miss than hit for me. I had bought the Take Me to Brazil palette, and it just didn't work for me. And I had several other palettes with similar issues that I eventually decluttered and gave to my daughters, or I gave to, well, I didn't give them to Project Beauty Share because I didn't know about it at the time. But that said, they do have some good palettes. A lot of their baked palettes are good, and the first two that I'm going to show you are in that category. And that's includes the Galaxy Chick, which has these beautiful shimmery colors. The way baked shadows have those beautiful light, that beautiful shine to them. They have some of these mixed tone shades in there. It is a beautiful palette, and I actually really did like it when I first picked it up. It is very pigmented. I keep picking colors that are very close. This one on top is supposed to be a light lavender, and it's not showing up that way in my camera. I don't know why. But they're very pigmented. They come across really nice on the eye. They're not as patchy as they are on my hand or in my camera. it's a really beautiful palette that I really should be using more. And one of its sister palettes is Supernova. I knew that this would be a good palette because the Galaxy Chick was a good palette. And it's got also the beautiful baked shadows. These tend to be on the darker part of the spectrum. It's got a beautiful black in here. And again, it's got beautiful, beautiful pigmentation that works for the most part. Some of them are less pigmented than others, obviously. It's got that gorgeous shine to it. I really have to get a better camera someday. But it is a gorgeous palette, and I should be using it more. The last palette is the last of a set of 3 that I picked up. One of the best sets of palettes that BH has is their 120s. I initially had 3 of these palettes. So the way the palettes are, first of all, they come in these hard cases. And this says it's the first edition, which I don't know if either of the trays in here are. But it comes in this nice hard case. You have a snap that you have to do to open, so these are very good for travel. And each one of them, that stuff falls out on me, each one of them comes with 2 trays. Try to bring this one around. So I've got the one tray out, and then there's another tray. So there's the tray on the bottom. Here's the tray on the top. Top of mine. Lots of colors. Beautiful colors. These are all shimmers and satins. They're very, very beautiful. They're pigmented. I think they are the best that BH puts out. The colors are in the ranges that I like. I just think that there are too many of them. So that when I open this palette, I just get overwhelmed. And again, they show up better on my hand than they are showing in the screen. But you can see the colors. Gorgeous color, gorgeous shine. They're on my fingertips. Maybe that's what I should show you guys from now on, is my fingertips. But they're beautiful palettes. And I initially had 3 of them, which meant I had 6. Hello, Gavin. Means I initially had 6 trays. And I realized I wasn't going to use all of that. So I trimmed it down with some effort to a total of 4 trays. And then again, I looked at them and went, I kind of need space. Not going to use them all. Went through the 4 trays and picked the ones that had obvious wear in them. And I am now down to the 2 trays. But guess what? Still don't use it. And I think in this case, I just get overwhelmed by how many colors. I mean, 5 different types of yellows, a dozen different types of blues, 10 different types of greens. It's a lot to look at and a lot to choose from. And I think it just gets overwhelming. So I think that when you go into that palette, you have to have a look in mind at the very least to help you pick colors. And I usually don't do my makeup that way. So I don't use that palette, but I don't want to get rid of it. I really should figure out a way to use it more. So those are my palettes that I should use more. What do you think of the 2 or 3 that I mentioned that I should think about decluttering? Should I declutter them? Should I keep them? Should I use them more? What would you use more? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you've had your cuppa with you and relaxed. Please subscribe. Click the little notification bell down below if you want to see more videos and know when I upload. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.